Just looking back to the derby on Sunday, you've had a couple of days to look over it and review it. What's your thoughts on it? Has anything changed? Have you picked up anything else?
No, we were under par. There's no doubt about it. I said after the game, perhaps we listened to plaudits about how well we'd done the previous week, and we weren't quite at it. What I do know, which was factual, was we actually run more, and our distances covered and our high intensity running was more than what it was against Hearts. So it certainly wasn't lack of commitment or lack of trying, as sometimes often put out there when you lose games, because that's all people see. The emotion of the results dictates that you didn't try. That's so not true. That we've got a group of boys who give absolutely everything. They didn't play well, make no mistake. We didn't make the right decisions in the right areas, and we've worked on that all week. We know what we're good at, and we'll get back to doing that.
I know you, in here especially, you constantly talk about keeping the players grounded and not getting ahead of themselves. Was that just a freak thing that they did in that case? How do you as a manager combat that and try and make sure they're level-headed going into these derby games and the games in the future?
I think I said it because we just weren't ourselves. We weren't in their faces. We weren't on top of the second balls. It certainly wasn't a want the running and the effort, as sometimes as it comes across. It was a case that we had too many people didn't perform on the day. We didn't have that end product. We didn't have entries into the final third. There was quite a lot of them. I think there were 30, but without any great quality. Our deliveries weren't right. So a number of factors put together, and we got the result we deserved. And we have to put that right again on Sunday.
Just looking ahead, Stephen, how important is it that the team get their heads down and focus on the league and don't get carried away by the prospect of a glamorous cup semi-final?
Yeah, I mean, they've earned the right to get there, and they did earn their plaudits. Make no mistake, we're not meant to be in the semi-final. But the teams are in there. We're not meant to be there. Little Motherwell are not meant to be there, but we are, and we've done very well to do that. But our bread and butter is the league. I think we still need points to make sure we're in this division, and we've got 3 tough games coming up. So believe me, the boys are focused. They have off days, which they done on Saturday, but it's definitely not a lack of focus or a lack of effort. That's certainly not the case.
You mentioned those 3 tough games. How important is it that Motherwell takes something from those 3 particularly tough games?
Well, the attitude we have is we'll try and take maximum points from them all. Is that realistic? Well, it's definitely what we set out to do. Whether we're able to do that remains to be seen. But we'll go positive. We'll go against people, and we'll make sure that we make ourselves competitive. We do need to take points, of course. We've got the 3 games coming up at home, and as I say, they're all at home, and we've got a very good home record. So we make sure they're tough games, and we go into the games confident. Why not?
You mentioned that they are tough games. To what extent do they represent the perfect preparation going into a semi-final? Well,
obviously one of them is against Aberdeen, so that'll be a like-for-like game. They're the 3 top teams in the division. Rangers have come good again. Celtic we know what they've done over the last lot of years, and they're a tough nut to crack. But they're not invincible by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen games where people have caused them problems. They've got top class footballers, make no mistake about that. But we'll go with them with a game plan. Our boys will be organised, they'll be disciplined, and we'll make sure that we cause them problems.
I know you'll be focusing very much on your own game, but you'll know the dangers that Moussa Dembele presents for Celtic. Just how good has he been in the experience that you've had seeing him play, and how, as a manager, do you prepare for playing against a player of that calibre?
Well, he's a top footballer. They spend a lot of money on him. There's been a lot of interest for mega money, that we can only dream about in terms of what we can recruit and bring in budgets. But that's what you're faced with, and it's great. It's a great challenge for the defenders. It's a great challenge for the team to play against it, and I will emphasise he's certainly not the only player in their team that's worth that kind of money and can cause that kind of problems. But it's a great challenge. Hopefully the fans will turn out in their numbers and get behind us. Fir Park's been a hard place to come to for teams. We played against them early in the season, and we're minutes away from beating them. So we go into the game and we will be positive. We'll make sure we go in and make sure it's a tough game for Celtic.
Stephen, when you say you're not meant to be in a cup semi-final, you're joking, right?
Well, our budget dictates that we probably shouldn't be. When you look at the other 3 teams that are in there, I think you boys in the press would prefer it was a more glamorous team than ourselves. So we're quite happy to upset the odds at this moment in time. And why not? We've got the final earlier in the season. Our focus is very much on the next 4 league games before we get to that semi-final, and people are playing for places. We're playing to make sure we stay in this division, and once we guarantee that, then we'll start looking back up the way again as well. But it's been a good achievement, but why not go a little bit further?
Could I suggest that because you were in the last National Cup final, that actually Motherwell now maybe are a team that is meant to reach the last four, the last two even.
Yeah, we've surprised people twice now, I think. We have to get to that next final first and foremost, and it's a big barrier with Aberdeen. They're a good side. The top three sides in the country. Them and Hibs as well. The four top teams. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. My first and foremost aim is to make sure we stay. My objective from the board is stay in this division. My aim is a lot higher than that there. We've been able to achieve that this season, a final and a semi-final. We're sitting 7th in the league. And as I say, first and foremost, get the points out, make sure we're in this division, and everything else is a bonus.
I remember the lift that the League Cup final gave to the club, to the area. In a sense, the Scottish Cup success, that could possibly help you as well, couldn't it, in terms of keeping everything kind of boiling up towards the end of the season? Yeah,
definitely. There's always a chance that if you can't get into the top six and you're safe, which we're not on either. So our season's still very much bubbling. There's a lot to play for. What it does is it gives fans here for a long time have only had relegation to worry about. They haven't had any cup success. We obviously, I would imagine, not going to win the league in the next year or so anyway. So it's always been, can we stay in this division? So this year they've had a little bit of a hope given to them that we can achieve things. We can put a squad together. And what it does, it helps keep the squad together. It helps us turn down bids for Trevor Carson and people like that, and we sell on our terms because we have got a little bit more money into the football club, and it also helps us attract players, further down the line as well.
Just looking ahead to Sunday again, with Celtic coming off the back of an Old Firm one, what does that do for them going into this game?
Listen, they done very well. I was very impressed with Rangers as well. I seen Graham Murray during the week, and I thought they were very good at times. Rangers, I think it shows the strength and depth Celtic have got. When they bring people off the bench like they do, you turn around and go, here we go. Another one comes on. So they've done that, and they've built that up over a number of years. It's going to take Rangers a while to get to that level where they have that level of squad, but. It was an intriguing game. It was a brilliant advert for Scottish football, I have to say. It was thought to be a really, really enjoyable football match. But they'll come bubbling with confidence, as they always do. The team that don't say die, and they have to be given credit for that there, as well as the quality that they have within the ranks. But we have to focus on us. We have to have a game plan that affects them. We have to do what we done in the first game here against them. We have to do what we done for 60 minutes against them in the cup final before we had a red card, and try and be competitive, and we will do. And I'm sure Brendan knows he'll be in for a tough game.
To use the video of that game, the draw here, to maybe, you don't need to inspire your players, but to show them just how close you were to being the first team to beat Celtic at that time.
Yeah, I think they're well aware of that. They know how close they came. They know how close the final was. They were still beating us 1-0. Before the red card. Who's to say that would have changed the game or wouldn't have? But we were very competitive. We were in the game. What the last game proved, that if you're not at the races, that's what Celtic can do to you. They beat us at their place, and they beat us comfortably. And if we're not to a man, with our 18-man squad right on it, right up for it, winning every battle, winning every second ball, and then trying to get the ball down and play football in areas that'll hurt them, then you can be punished by them. So we've made both. We've looked at all three games. We've looked at what we can improve. We've looked at where Celtic have weaknesses, and we feel we can expose. And obviously that's all good on paper. You have to go out on Sunday and make sure you do that.
You mentioned that you'll be looking to affect them, and you've mentioned there, areas where you can hurt them. Is it in your DNA to sit back and to let Celtic come at you, or are you there to take the game to them as much as anything?
No, we'll try and take the game to them. We'll try and play in their half of the pitch, and we'll try and put as many balls into the box, which we're renowned for, and we've built a little bit of a reputation. So we're certainly not going to change that just because we're playing against Celtic. There is times in the game where they will have possession of the ball, and you have to drop in and you have to be disciplined. You've seen what Kilmarnock done against them. I watched what Partick done at times as well, and we've watched other clubs that have set in and broke on them. So at times, you have to play in the counter attack. But at every opportunity we get to go into their faces and put balls in behind them and put balls into the box, then we will do that.
Just a point on the international call-ups: Trevor Carson, Cadden, and Campbell. Obviously, thoroughly deserved in your eyes.
Definitely. The two boys are playing regular first team football, the two Scottish boys. I would imagine they can't be too far off a senior call-up. Alec would be well aware of both of them. I know he is. I've spoke to him. And they just have to continue, keep their feet in the ground, continue playing well for us, and then they'll make their way into the full international squad, I'm confident of. Trevor, he's been tremendous for us this season, and at times he's been the difference. and he thoroughly deserves his call up. You know, I'm just off the phone to Michael O'Neill there as well, so he, you know, he'll get his opportunity and definitely deserves it, definitely.